So no telephones. We're at, I don't know if you've been to Old World, Wisconsin. First of all, I'm Craig Siemsen. Nice to see you. I'm not sure, but I think the last time I was here was pre-pandemic. I know that we had something scheduled earlier this year, and I think I got COVID. And then I think 2021 vaccinations were all going, and then they weren't.
Are you saying?
And so we just keep waiting. So I'm here. But Old World, Wisconsin, one time in that old church that they have there is a part of a Christmas program. They have a little pump organ in front, and they have two of the people who are in character, and so they're representing how a church would have been at Christmas time back centuries ago. And so they're in the middle of their act, really, and somebody's cell phone went off. And of course, somebody from 200 years ago would never have heard that sound. And so without missing a beat, they were like, what is that? It was they did it very effectively. So without embarrassing the person, then you saw at least a dozen of the audience members take their phones out and turn them off. So anyway, so good to see you. My name's Craig Siemsen. The show is called Over the Rainbow. It's roughly songs from the 20s up through the 70s. I've been asked to move things into the 70s, so I have. And a little bit of stories and humor. Your job is to figure out where I'm telling the truth and where I'm making it up. So it's but we'll start out with just Hank Williams, great old tune of his. Hey, good looking. Said, hey, good looking. What you got cooking? How's about cooking something up with me? I said, hey, sweet baby, don't you think maybe we could find us a brand new recipe? I got a hot rock for it and a $2 bill. I know a spot right over the hill. This soda pop and the dancing's free. You wanna have some fun? Come along with me singing, hey, good looking. What you got cooking? How's about cooking something up with me? Well, I'm free and I'm ready, so won't you go steady? How's about spending all your time with me? Well, no more looking, I know I've been tooken. How's about keeping steady company? I'm gonna throw my date book right over the fence. Buy me a new one for 5 or 10 cents. I'll keep it till it's covered with age. I'm gonna write your name down on every page, singing, hey, good looking. What you got cooking? How's about cooking something up for me? I got a hot rod for it and a $2 bill. I know a spot right over the hill. This soda pop and the dancing's free. Wanna have some fun? Come along with me singing, hey, good looking. What you got cooking? How's about cooking something up? Baby, won't you help me fill my cup? How's about cooking something up with me? Thank you. Hey, good looking. All right. Well, let's move on to Elvis. See where that takes us. Recently, and I don't know why, but I was reflecting. Well, I know why. I saw that Elvis movie a year or two ago. Last summer, I think I saw it. And I found it fascinating. I actually had, I don't know if you've seen it, but I had to look up a lot of the stuff that happened in there just to see if that really happened that way. And I was stunned. Tom Hanks played an incredibly creepy colonel. It was the longer he was on screen, the more I was like, oh, that guy just wasn't very nice. But I did look it up, and they said that the director stays very true to the historical context, but some of the specific events in his films, he makes them up. So who knows what really happened or how it happened. But I was reflecting, and some of you may remember this. It was toward the end of Elvis's life, and he had a show in Madison. And he was his limo, and he was at that point, probably compromised from drug and alcohol use and weight and things like that, and struggling with his fame eroding. But his limo was going down the street somewhere in Madison, heading toward the show, and he saw a group of guys beating up somebody pretty badly. And I read this as a teenager in Milwaukee in the Journal Sentinel, and he said, "Stop the limo," and he got out and he intervened, and he either saved the guy from worse harm or maybe something worse than that. I don't know, but I remember at the time thinking, you don't hear about celebrities doing that too often, and so I was really impressed at that point. I liked his music anyway, but as a person, he kind of went up a few notches in my view of him. So let's do this great old song, Elvis Presley, "Return to Sender." Return to sender, return to sender. I gave a letter to the postman, he put it in his sack. Bright early next morning, he brought my letter back. She wrote upon it, return to sender, address unknown, no such number, no such zone. We had a quarrel, our lovers spat. I write, I'm sorry, but my letter keeps coming back. So I dropped it in the mailbox, sent it special dear. Bright early next morning, it came right back to me. She wrote upon it, return to sender, address unknown, no such person, no such zone. This time I'm gonna take it myself, put it right in her hand. And if it comes back the very next day, well, then I'll understand. Return to sender, address unknown, no such number, no such zone. Return to sender, return to sender, return to sender. Thank you. I see a lot of lips moving out there, and you're being awfully polite about it. So I'm not hearing you. So I'm a folk singer, so it is absolutely okay to sing along on anything that sounds suspiciously like a chorus, and just go for it. It's a lot of fun to sing along. Peter Yarrow once said that if you're singing so loud that you only hear yourself, you're singing too loud. And if you're singing so softly that you only hear everybody else around you, you're singing too softly. So, in the folk world, people sing with us, they talk to us while we're in the middle of a show. It's okay. It's okay. So I want you to picture yourself in the movie Casablanca. Humphrey Bogart's on your right, Ingrid Bergman's on your left, and Sam's at the piano and singing this beautiful song. You must remember this, a kiss is still a kiss, sigh is just a sigh, fundamental things apply as time goes by. And when two lovers woo, they still say I love you, on that you can rely. No matter what the future brings as time goes by. Moonlight and love songs never out of date. Our hearts full of passion, jealousy and hate. Woman needs a man, and man must have his mate. No one can deny, but it's still the same old story. Fight for love and glory, a case of do or die. The world will always welcome lovers as time goes by. love songs never out of date. Our hearts full of passion, jealousy and hate. A woman needs a man, and man must have his mate. No one can deny, but it's still the same story. A fight for love and glory, in case of do or die. Who will always welcome lovers as time goes by? As time goes by. As time goes by. Thank you. Time goes by. There are so many great songs from the past. Let's do this great old train song here. Then maybe we'll do a Willie Nelson tune. I've heard it said that you can't write a bad train song. The bad train song or a bad waltz. I don't know if that's true or not, but I can't say that I've ever heard a bad train song or a bad waltz. Though these days with trains, you don't know, because the romance of what they once were, that doesn't exist anymore. For example, you don't have that lonesome whistle, that steam whistle echoing off the hillside. You have a big honking horn, and it's safe, which is good. It's good, but there's no romance in it. Boxcars are all locked up. No roof walks on top, so hobos can't really use trains anymore. And then, of course, the really big sin, there's no caboose. They took a caboose off the train, and if you see the last car go by now, there's a little rod sticking up with a blinking light on it. That's called an end-of-train device. Now, how in the world do you write a song about an end-of-train device? So, and I got that from my buddy Larry Penn. He's a great writer of train songs, and he used to complain forever about that stuff. So, anyway, we'll do this great old train song from the past, and we'll do a couple traveling theme songs here. Well, heading for a station with a pack on my back, a tied of transportation in the back of a hat. I love to hear the rhythm of the clickety-clack, and hear a lonesome whistle, see the smoke from the stack. Pal around with democratic fellas, hey Max, so take me on back to the track. Jack now, choo-choo, choo-choo, choo-boogie, woo-woo, woo-woo, choo-boogie, choo-choo, choo-choo, choo-boogie, take me on back to the track, Jack. Well, I reached destination, but a lack and a lack. Need some compensation to get back in the black. You take the morning paper from the top of the stack, and read the situation from the front to the back. The only job that's open needs a man with a knack, so put it right back on that stack. Jack now, choo-choo, choo-choo, choo-boogie, woo-woo, woo-woo, choo-boogie, choo-choo, choo-choo, choo-boogie, take me on back to the track, Jack. Raleigh in a beaten down shack. When I hear the whistle, I can beat the crack. See the train roll, she's a bomber jack. I love to hear the rhythm of the clickety clack, so take me on back to the track. Jack now, choo choo, choo choo, choo boogie, woo woo, woo woo, choo boogie, choo choo, choo choo, choo boogie, take me on back to the track, Jack. My wife and I tour as Patty and Craig as singer-songwriters, and she claims that I end every song with, that I do that from my rock and roll days. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't jump anymore, so it gets a little dangerous after a point. So yeah, Willie Nelson, he just turned 90. Holy smokes. And literally, holy smokes. Sometimes I make myself laugh. He's been on the road a long time. I mean, he's still touring and playing, and he doesn't perform standing up so much anymore. He comes out on stage and he sits down and plays, but he still plays beautifully and sings beautifully, and it's a wonderful thing. And I've known several musicians that performed into their 80s and 90s, and it's the same kind of thing. They can barely walk, but you put them in front of their instrument, and they just sound lovely. And I've heard that Willie, even when he goes home to the ranch house in the hill country outside of Austin, that he, rather than going in his house and sleeping in a bed, well, his bed, he has a tour bus parked up alongside the house, and he still sleeps on there. So that's really his home, is that tour bus, which that wouldn't be for me. I'd want to crawl into a room in my bed and just kind of relax. But this song of his reminds me a lot of my life, especially in my 20s. After my first college degree, I just threw everything I had, my dog, my instruments, my clothing, into the back of a '68 Chevy Impala and just took off across the country having fun. And my grandma accused me of retiring first, and I think she might have been right. I live a very pampered life, I have to say. Someone that actually used to live near here, George Stewart, once commented to me that he lives better. He lived very simply, but he said, "I live better than Caesar ever lived," as a statement of appreciation. And I got it, that we do live better than Caesar in many ways. So back then, I threw everything in. I was traveling around the country just having fun, and I don't think I could live like that anymore. I remember I was down in Louisiana once, and I had I was at a gas station. I had my trunk hood up, and this guy saw a fiddle in there, and he said, "Can you play that thing?" I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Well, if you play me a fiddle tune, I'll buy you a tank of gas." And that's kind of how I was for a while. And so I had a great old time, and then I met my wife when I was pushing 30, and she famously said, "But Craig, I need food." So set me down a whole nother path. So on the road again, I just can't wait to get on the road again. The life I love is making music with my friends, and I can't wait to get on the road again. On the road again, going places that I've never been, seeing things that I may never see again. And I can't wait to get on the road again. On the road again, like a band of gypsies, we go down the highway. We're the best of friends, insisting that the world keep turning our way, turning our way. On the road again, I just can't wait to get on the road again. The life I love is making music with my friends, and I can't wait to get on the road again. On the road again, like a band of gypsies, we go down the highway. We're the best of friends, insisting that the world keep turning our way, turning our way. On the road again, I just can't wait to get on the road again. The life I love is making music with my friends, and I can't wait to get on the road again. And I can't wait to get on the road again. On the road again. Thank you. Well, we'll move to a highway song now, and Route 66 will have its 100th anniversary of its start in 2025, and I think I've done my Route 66 show here many years ago, but it had its genesis, I want to say in the 1850s. There was a Lieutenant Edward Fitzgerald Beale, and he was a topographical engineer with the military, and he was told to find a wagon route across the continent roughly along the 35th parallel, and that later became Route 66. And of course, those two-lane highways, it was the first time we Americans could easily move about and get to smell how people's food tasted in different regions, hear their accents, their dialect, hear the music they played, and it was quite a transformation. Of course, all the great cars that came out of that car culture of the 40s, 50s, and 60s, And then, of course, Will Rogers, he was traveling up and down that road and just sitting with people like us, and he'd watch us and listen to us and come up with his observations. He said that even if you're on the right track, you're going to get run over if you just sit there. I thought, well, that's pretty wise. He also said that you should never slap a man with tobacco in his mouth. And I thought, okay, I'm not planning on slapping anybody, but also good advice. And my absolute all-time favorite, he said that you should always live your life in such a way that you would not be ashamed to sell your parrot to the town gossip. And my dad was from a very small town in Kansas, and I completely get that one. And then, of course, the Burma shave signs. I don't know if you remember them, but you know, for those younger people, the highways, the two-lane highways, there were no four-lane highways. The two-lane highways really didn't have a shoulder. And they had these little white signs right by the edge of the road, and there's just a little white sign with part of a riddle. And then each sign, there's maybe 5 of them, would have a little bit more of the riddle, and then the very last sign said Burma shave, which was a shaving cream. So, for example, the first sign would say, you can drive a mile a minute, but there is no future in it. Burma shave. I think my favorite is slow down, pa, sakes alive, mom missed signs 4 and 5. That's I like that one. So let's do this great old song, Get Your Kicks on Route 66. Well, if you ever plan to motor west, travel my way, that's a highway, that's the best. Get your kicks on Route 66. Well, it winds from Chicago to LA, more than 2,000 miles all the way. Get your kicks on Route 66. Now you go through St. Louis, Joplin, Missouri, Oklahoma City, well, mighty pretty good, Amarillo, Texas, and yeah, New Mexico. Thanks in Arizona, don't forget Winona, Kingman, Boston, San Bernardino. Well, you won't get hip to this time tip when you take that California trip. Get your kicks on Route 66. Now you go through St. Louis, Joplin, Missouri, Oklahoma City, well, mighty pretty good, Amarillo, Texas, and down New Mexico. Flags of Arizona, don't forget Winona, Kingman, Boston, San Bernardino. Well, won't get hip to this time tip when you take that California trip. Get your kicks on Route 66. Yeah, get your kicks on Route 66. Well, now get your kicks on Route 66. Thank you. Get your kicks on Route 66. Well, let's see now. What do we have next on the hit parade? We're going to do a Harold Arlen song now. I don't know if you're familiar with Harold Arlen. I absolutely love his compositions from the 40s and a little bit the 50s. And a lot of people don't know he wrote all the music for The Wizard of Oz, but he wrote great classics like It's Only a Paper Moon and Old Black Magic, Be Happy, and this next song, You've Got to Accentuate the Positive. And the lyricist that he worked with is Johnny Mercer. And Johnny Mercer wrote the lyrics to over 1,500 songs in his life. And they're all rather playful, it seems. And I think my favorite, though, is I'm an old cowhand from the Rio Grande, and my legs ain't bow and my cheeks ain't tan. I'm a cowboy that never saw a cow. I just think that's so funny. So, it reminds me of my uncle. So, so let's do this great old Harold Arlen, Johnny Mercer composition, 1944. You've got to accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, latch on to the affirmative, don't mess a mister in between. You've got to spread joy up to the maximum, bring gloom down to a minimum, have faith faith, the pandemonium is liable to walk upon the scene. Illustrating my last remark, Jonah and the whale, Noah and the ark. What did they do? And everything looked dark. You got to accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, latch on to the affirmative, it don't mess with Mr. In Between. Illustrating my last remark, Jonah and the whale, Noah and the ark. What did they do? And everything looked dark. You've got to accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, latch on to the affirmative, it don't mess with Mr. In Between. What's that? Don't mess with Mr. In Between, I'm telling you, don't mess with Mr. In Between. So I know for many of you, especially if you have a history as a farmer, this is probably like late midday for you. As a musician, this is still early in the morning for me. So I'm still waking up. So I'm not going to do this next song next. I was thinking about I'll do it later. Just want to make sure I'm up for it when I do it. So I have been asked recently to bring things more into the 1970s, and I thought, okay, I can do that. That's my generation. I was in high school in the early 70s, and it's creeping a little closer, but hey, that's okay. That's as they say, it's better than the alternative. So I'm very happy to be able to sing these songs. And this next artist, he passed away recently, Gordon Lightfoot, and so he had a lot of big hits in the 1970s. And I have a lot of Facebook friends who are musicians from around the world, and some of them are famous, some of them not. But the tributes to Gordon Lightfoot, I was a little surprised, the degree to which he influenced a lot of people. So someone said, why don't you do a Gordon Lightfoot song? So I thought, yeah, I can do that. So we're going to do his beautiful song that he wrote called If You Could Read My Mind, Love. You could read my mind, love, what a tale my thoughts could tell. Just like an old-time movie about a ghost from a wishing well, in a castle dark or a fortress strong, chains upon my feet. Know that ghost is me. I will never be set free as long as I'm the ghost that you can't see. If I could read your mind, love, what a tale your thoughts could tell. Just like a paperback novel, the kind that drugstores sell. When you read the part where the heartache comes, a hero would be me. The heroes often fail. You won't read that book again, because the ending's just too hard to take. I'd walk away like a movie star who gets burned in a three-way script. Enter number 2, movie queen to play the scene, bringing all good things out in me. Now that love is real, never thought I could act this way. Got to say that I just don't get it. I don't know where we went wrong, but the feeling's gone and I just can't get it back. my mind. Love, what a tale my thoughts could tell. Just like an old time movie, about a ghost from ocean well, in a castle dark and the darkest, in a castle dark or a fortress strong, with chains upon my feet. Stories always end, and if you read between the lines, you'll know that I'm just trying to understand the feelings that you lack. Never thought I could feel this way, but I got to say that I just don't get it. I don't know where we went wrong, but the feeling's gone, and I just can't get it back. Thank you. So I have this terrible affliction that if I'm in the middle of a song and I start thinking about something, the lyrics can be right in front of me and I will still mess it up. So. And what I was thinking about in the middle of that song, that brief moment where I had a little pause, I was thinking, what do these lyrics mean? It's kind of an unusual song. As far as what he's singing about, this next one's no exception. I do try to do songs. I know that some people sing a lot of the same songs for you, and I try to not do that. Songs that are familiar but that you might not expect. So I'm going to do a Neil Diamond song next, but it's not going to be Sweet Caroline. And I had this one. Well, this one fella, he was funny. A few weeks back, he was in the front row, and I was getting set up. And he's sitting there staring at me, and he finally says, "Are you any good?" I said, "Well, I sure hope so." He said, "Well, I just need to know whether or not to turn my hearing aid on." So I said, "Why don't you give it a try?" And then when I was done, he came up and he said that if I sang "Let Me Call You Sweetheart," he was going to walk out at that point. So I said, "No, you're safe. You're safe. I'm not going to do that." So anyway. Not that any of those songs are bad. I love singing "Let Me Call You Sweetheart," and I paired it with a Randy Travis song about a year ago. I was doing that, and it was really lovely. But be forewarned, I guess. So, but this is Neil Diamond. It's his. My understanding, it's his first big hit ever. And again, this is a song written. I don't know how old he was when he wrote it, but it's geared for teenagers, and the lyrics are a little bit. It's like. But the chorus is great, and I've learned that about a lot of those songs from the 50s, especially the 60s. The Beatles, they may have a big hit, but the verse just keeps, the same verse keeps repeating itself over and over again, and they've really just written a one-verse song. But the chorus is so amazing that everybody wants to hear it, so this song is the same, and it's called "Solitary Man," Neil Diamond. Linda was mine till the time that I found her, holding Jim, loving him. Sue came along, the love is strong, that's what I thought. Me and Sue, that night too. Don't know what I will, but until I could find me a girl who stayed warm, play games behind me, I'll be what I am. Solitary man, solitary man. Attitude here beating where love's a small word, part-time thing, paper ring. I know it's been done having one girl who loves you, right or wrong, weak or strong. Don't know what I will, but until I can find me a girl who stayed warm, play games behind me, I'll be what I am. Solitary man, solitary man. solitary man, solitary man. Thank you. I saw some people singing along on that. Our daughter, she's 24, and she's very contemporary in her style, but she's very vintage in her, like her apartment, how she decorates it and what she enjoys. And she's become very fascinated with the old LP records, the albums. And you know, they record things differently now. Everything is digital. And I miss a lot of the old analog stuff. Like, for example, driving down the highway, and I did this a fair amount, in the middle of the night, somewhere in the middle of nowhere. You got hours ahead of you, and you turn on your AM radio, and if you take that dial and you just tweak it, you can pick up a station maybe from Dallas or Chicago or Miami or out in New York or something. And I used to love that. And maybe for a half hour, an hour, you could hear what they're playing in some other part of the country and listen to their stories. And I used to love that. But that doesn't happen anymore. And so our daughter bought. We had a neighborhood-wide rummage sale. And she came over and we went rummaging, and she found, because we went kind of late, everything was like, after a certain point in the day, they just say, take it, it's free. So she found a copy of Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass, and then also it was this, no, I'm going to forget what this is, but it's Julie Andrews and Rex Harrison, and My Fair Lady, singing My Fair Lady, because they did that on Broadway before the film was made. And we got back to our house, and I don't usually, like most of the music I listen to now, I'm in the car listening. So it's, coming through, they call it compressed. They compress it down to be on the radio. And even at home, it's convenient. I pop in CDs and things. Well, she put on this album, and we have a beautiful turntable that's a high quality turntable. And she put on Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass, and just the first drum beat, the boom, 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 boom. It sounded like he was in the room with you. It was just so beautiful and so present. And I thought, oh my God, I almost felt like crying. It was so great. And I thought, what have we lost, in that quality of sound, especially if that really attracts you, the cymbals tapping. And so anyway, it was just really kind of a neat moment. So she's now into analog recordings and albums, which has been great fun for me to rediscover that. So let's do a Beatles song here. Since I brought them up, I might as well do it. And this song introduced me to an expression called malapropism, and it's expressions that are local and everybody gets it, but they don't make any sense on their face. So around, especially where I'm from in Milwaukee, bubbler. Most people don't know what bubblers are, or when you say to someone that's not from America, hang in there. Oh, hang in there. They're like, what? Are we monkeys? They don't know. And so the Beatles did a lot of this with their songs, and apparently Ringo, oftentimes when he spoke, he'd come up with these things like, oh, it's been a hard day's night. And so this next one is called 8 Days a Week. Ooh, I need your love, babe. I guess you know it's true. I hope you need my love, babe, just like I need you. Hold me, love me, hold me, love me. I ain't got nothing but love, babe. 8 days a week, I love you every day, girl. You're always on my mind. One thing I can say, girl, I love you all the time. Hold me, love me, hold me, love me. Thank you. 8 days a week. All righty. We're gonna do now. Jump back into I believe it's the late '60s, early '70s, and this next songwriter was mostly a songwriter before he became a very, very famous performer. He was part of the Chad Mitchell Trio, and he wrote hits for other people. And so he wrote this next hit for Peter, Paul, and Mary, and it's called "Leaving on a Jet Plane." And the songwriter, of course, is John Denver. And this is kind of a sad song, so I'll follow it up with a happy song that he wrote. But I understand, I get it. You know, you're young and you're full of angst and hardship and heartache when you break up with somebody, and you just got to get it out. I had a girlfriend in college. We broke up. I got 5 songs out of it, so it's a great source of material. Now, Mark Twain, about love, he said that, you know, if you want to go fishing for love, he said that you should fish from the heart. You should bait with your heart and not your brain. And I thought, well, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good quote from Mark Twain. He also said that if you want love and abundance in your life, that you should just give it away freely. I also like that. Mark Twain also said that the more he learned about people, the more he likes his dog. So there you go, Mark Twain. All my bags are packed, ready to go. I'm standing here outside your door. I hate to wake you up to say goodbye, but the dawn is bringing its early morn. The taxi's waiting, he's blowing his horn. Already I'm so lonesome I could die. So kiss me and smile for me. Tell me that you'll wait for me. Hold me like you'll never let me go. 'Cause I'm leaving on a jet plane. I don't know when I'll be back again. Oh, babe, I hate to go. There's so many times I've let you down. So many times I've played around. I tell you now, they don't mean a thing. Every place I go, I'll think of you. Every song I sing for you. When I come back, I'll wear a wedding ring. So kiss me and smile for me. Tell me that you'll wait for me. Hold me like you'll never let me go. 'Cause I'm leaving on a jet plane. I don't know when I'll be back again. Oh, babe, I hate to go. Now the time's come to leave. One more time, just let me kiss you. Then close your eyes, I'll be on my way. Dream about the days to come when I won't have to leave alone. About the time I won't have to say, kiss me and smile for me. Tell me that you'll wait for me. Hold me like you'll never let me go. 'Cause I'm leaving on a jet plane. I don't know when I'll be back again. Leaving on a jet plane. I don't know when I'll be back again. Oh, babe, I hate to go. Thank you. All right, well, now we'll do a happy John Denver song and a happy love song. He wrote this lovely song for his wife called Annie's Song. my senses like a night in the forest, like the mountains in springtime, like a walk in the rain, like a storm in the desert, like a sleepy blue ocean. You fill up my senses, come fill me again. Come, let me love you, let me give my life to you, let me drown in your laughter, let me die in your arms, let me lay down beside you, let me always be with you. Come, let me love you, come love me again. You fill up my senses like a night in the forest, like the mountains in springtime, like a walk in the rain, like a storm in the desert, like a sleepy blue ocean. You fill up my senses, come fill me again. Isn't that pretty? All right, well, let's go back in time again. Told you I'd do Over the Rainbow. Let's do a little Harold Arlen tune, It's Only a Paper Moon, and then we'll do Over the Rainbow, which he also wrote. And then we'll see where we're at from there. So, I love singing this song, It's Only a Paper Moon. I have no idea what it means, but I like singing it, so. Say it's only a paper moon, sailing over a cardboard sea, but it would be make-believe if you believed in me. Well, it's only a canvas sky hanging over a Muslim tree, but it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me. Without your love, it's a honky-tonk parade. Without your love, it's a melody played in a penny arcade. It's a Barnum and Bailey world, just as phony as it can be. But it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me. Well, it's a high one, but I do. Scoop, screaming about the sweep, ba-ba. Stop, bum, sweep, and I'm sweet, I do. Beep, bop, sweep, beep, bop. Without your love, it's a honky-tonk parade. Without your love, it's a melody played in a penny arcade. It's a Barnum and Bailey world, just as phony as it can be. But it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me. Well, it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me. Thank you. Only a paper moon. So Harold Arlen did write all the music for The Wizard of Oz. And what an amazing film it is. Though I have to say, one of the more interesting facts for me is that the Wicked Witch of the West was a kindergarten teacher. Can you imagine that? I can't imagine it. I know she had no behavior problems in that class. Probably sentenced, generations of children to a lifetime of therapy. I don't know, but or she was just a really great actress. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. Someday I wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me. Troubles melt like lemon drops away upon the chimney tops. It's where you'll find me, somewhere over the rainbow. Bluebirds fly, well, birds fly over the rainbow. Why, then, oh, why can't I? Someday I wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me. Troubles melt like lemon drops away upon the chimney tops. It's where you'll find me, yeah, somewhere over the rainbow. Bluebirds fly, well, birds fly over the rainbow. Why, then, why can't I? If pretty little bluebirds fly above the rainbow, why can't I? Thank you. I think we have time for two more songs, so let's do a country tune. I guess I haven't done any real. Well, I guess I did Hank Williams, but we'll do a Johnny Cash song. Hank Williams and Willie Nelson, Johnny Cash. I guess I can say I did some. Everybody thinks Johnny Cash is the guy who spent time in prison, and it wasn't him. It was Merle Haggard. Though I have to say, the more I learn about Johnny Cash, similar to Elvis, the more I respect him. I was listening to a very playful discussion with Marty Stewart and his band about their new recording. And he went from, I believe, Bill Monroe to the Johnny Cash band back in the day. And Johnny booked a big show and on the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation in South Dakota. And the band was like, there's no one out there. Why would you do this show? And Johnny Cash said, because they need our help out there. And so every year they would do these big productions and the money would go back to the tribe. And I thought, well, that was pretty generous. Again, you don't hear about celebrities doing that so often. And now Marty Stewart continues that tradition. And so Johnny Cash just had a big heart for, I think, for people that were a little bit down on their luck or experiencing hardship. And so he did those famous prison concerts. And of course, he always wore black. That's not why I wear black, but he always wore black. But one of the people that was a country star that was in prison and was in one of those audiences, I believe it was San Quentin prison, was Merle Haggard. And Merle Haggard was a convicted felon. And apparently watching Johnny Cash perform, he had a bit of an epiphany and he decided to straighten up and fly right. So he wrote he wrote a song to sort of an apology to his mom for the bad apple he had been. It's called Mama Tried. And our daughter, she was in daycare one time, and my wife and I were practicing that for a show we were doing. And the daycare called up, and they said, "What's going on in your house?" And we said, "Well, what do you mean?" They said, "Well, your daughter's standing in the middle of the floor singing at the top of her lungs I turned 21 in prison doing life without parole. I say, well, just ignore that. That's just a song we're learning by Merle Haggard. But, so anyway, so we had to have a conversation with her about not necessarily singing everything she hears from us. But apparently all of that was because he saw Johnny Cash play one of his shows in the prison. So good old Johnny. And this is Johnny Cash's biggest hit, and is written by his wife June Carter Cash. And it's a love song. I fell into a burning ring of fire, and it burned and it burned and it burned. So not for the faint of heart, eh? Love is a burning thing, and it makes a fiery ring. Bound by wild desire, I fell into a ring of fire. I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, 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 and the flames are getting higher. And it burns, burns, burns. The ring of fire, the ring of fire. Well, the taste of love is sweet when two hearts like ours meet. I fell for you like a child. Oh, the fire went wild. I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, 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 and the flames are getting higher. And it burns, burns, burns. The ring of fire, the ring of fire. I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, 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 and the flames are getting higher. And it burns, burns, burns. The ring of fire, the ring of fire, the ring of fire, the ring of fire. Thank you, ring of fire. All right. That's a really good song. You would sing the part of, who did he duet that with?
Willie Nelson.
I know, but Ray Charles and Willie. So I'll do Willie, you do Ray Charles. All right, well, maybe next time, we'll see how that goes. Email me and we'll
I love
practice.
his music.
Yeah, no, I
Couldn't stand
agree.
to look at him.
Couldn't stand to look at who? Maybe Willie?
Willie Nelson.
Oh, well, there you go. I never thought about it that way. So I want to thank you so much for having me here today. My name's Craig Siemsen. Thank you. And, we're going to do one more song here. And I hope to see you. Usually Ann books every couple of years, so it'll probably be a couple of years. And I can't get any grayer, so we'll see how gravity takes its toll on me. But you all take good care of yourselves in the meantime, and we're gonna close out with this song. I think this should be the Wisconsin State song. It's called "There Ain't No Bugs on Me." And we're kind of fully into summer now. Finally, my heat was on last night, which I just find crazy in mid-June that I've got heat going on. But we know what's coming, and of course, a few weeks back we were hiking in Newport State Park in York County, and I swear I inhaled about 3 or 4 mosquitoes because they were just swarming so badly, and I was so focused on keeping them off me that when I breathe in, they'd come inside, and you know how that is, like, but you know, the mosquitoes, and then the wood ticks, and then the deer flies, and then the mosquitoes and the wood ticks and the deer flies and the black flies, and then the mosquitoes. It's like, it just doesn't end until what, September, and then it's like over again for another 9 months. So we'll just do this great old tone. Ain't no bugs on me, and you guys take good care. Well, there ain't no bugs on me. There ain't no bugs on me. Maybe bugs on some of you bugs, but there ain't no bugs on me. Judy fly flies in the month of June, Latin bug in May. Bedbug come anytime he wants, and he sure hope he won't stay. Well, there ain't no bugs on me, there ain't no bugs on me now. Maybe bugs on some of you mugs, but there ain't no bugs on me. Bullfrog sitting on a lily pad, looking up in the sky. Lily pad broke, frog fell in, he got water in his eye. Well, there ain't no bugs on me, there ain't no bugs on me. Maybe bugs on some of you mugs, but there ain't no bugs on me. Peanuts sitting on a railroad track, it's hard to flutter. Along come a choo-choo on the track, and a toot-toot peanut butter. Well, there ain't no bugs on me, boys, there ain't no bugs on me, girls. Maybe bugs on some of you mugs, but there ain't no bugs on me. Mosquito, he flies high, mosquito, he flies low. Mosquito lands upon my neck, well, gonna fly no more. Well, there ain't no bugs on me, there ain't no bugs on me. There may be bugs on some of you bugs, but there ain't no bugs on me. Well, there ain't no flies on me, there ain't no flies on me. There may be flies on some of those guys, but there ain't no flies on me. Well, there ain't no ticks on me, no ticks, ain't no ticks on me. Maybe ticks on some of those hicks, but there ain't no ticks on me. Well, there ain't no lobsters on me, ain't no lobsters on me. There may be lobsters on some of your mobsters, but there ain't no lobsters on me. Yeah, jeepers, creepers, where'd you get them peepers? Oh, my weepers, where'd you get them eyes? Well, gosh, I get up, how they get so lit up now. Gosh, I get up, how they hypnotize. Well, gosh, golly gee, when you put them heaters on. Woe is me, I've got to put my cheaters on. Jeepers, creepers, where'd you get them doggone peepers? Oh, my weepers, where'd you get them eyes? Sa-ba-da-ba, skibidi-bidi-bidi-bidi-bidi. Sa-da-da-da-dee-dee-wah-bah, sa-da-da, skibidi-ba, skibidi-ba-ba-ba, sweet-dee-dee-dee-dee. Sa-da-da-da-dee-dee-wah-bah, sa-da-da. Gosh, golly gee, when you put them heaters on. Woe is me, I got to put my cheaters on. Jeepers, creepers, where'd you get them peepers? Oh, my weepers, where'd you get them eyes? And I say how they hypnotize.